Okay, we're in 2026, and if you've spent even 5 minutes online lately, you've probably seen a headline telling you the housing market is either totally crashing or about to explode again. And honestly, it's super confusing. So if you're watching this, I just want to be really clear up front. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future, but I can walk you through exactly what happened in the Huron County real estate market in 2025 using real numbers so you can decide for yourself what makes sense going forward. This isn't going to be hyped up, but it's also not a doom and gloom take either. It's just a clear look at the data, what it tells us, and how I think about it when I'm helping people plan for the next move. And heads up, I will be using a lot of median numbers, a lot more than averages, because in a small market like ours, the median tells us a much more honest story. All right, let's get started with inventory. By December 2025, Huron County was sitting at about 8 months of inventory. Now, if you compare that to December 2024, we were closer to 7.5 months. So yes, inventory is up. And if you look at month over month, it jumped quite a bit too. But here's the big picture. Over the entire year, 2025 averaged just under 7 months of inventory compared to just over 6 months in 2024. So did we see a shift? Yeah, there's no denying that. But what's interesting though is that December wasn't even the highest point. That actually happened at the beginning of the year in January of 2025. And as we move into early 2026, I'm not going to be surprised if inventory stays a bit elevated. January is always quiet, new listings come up, some sellers are going to pull them off, and things tend to balance themselves out a bit. On paper, higher inventory can sound scary, but seasonally, this is pretty normal. Now let's talk prices, because this is where headlines really get people worked up. The average sale price in December 2025 was just over $450,000. That is a big drop from December 2024. But here's the thing. December had very low sales volume, and when that happens, averages can get totally skewed. So instead of focusing on 1 month, I always like to zoom out. When we look at the median prices, things look a lot steadier. In 2023, the median was around $490,000. 2024, it went up above $529,000. And in 2025, it came in around $516,000. So yes, prices cooled after the pandemic. That part is true. But the last 2 years have actually been pretty close. For all of 2025, homes sold for about 96% of their list price, which tells us that buyers are still there. They're just more careful. And the most affordable areas last year were places like Howick, North and South Huron, Central Huron, and Huron East, where medians generally sat between $475,000 and $500,000. Another thing people ask me all the time is how long are homes taking to sell? In December 2025, the average days on market was around 79 days, which is up from the year before. But again, averages don't tell the full story. When we look at the median, homes took about 44 days to sell in 2025. A few years ago, that number was closer to 39 days, then 40, then 44. So yes, things are taking longer, but this isn't some sudden shift. It's been happening gradually. This is probably, honestly, the new normal. The longest days on market were mostly in lake adjacent areas where higher priced homes and cottages tend to sit longer anyway. That's pretty expected, especially when buyers are making big long-term decisions. Let's touch quickly on rates. Right now, variable rates are hovering around 3.9% and fixed rates are closer to 4.45%. The Bank of Canada's rate is sitting at 2.25%, and most expectations are that things are going to hold for a while, possibly even to mid or even late 2026. So if you're waiting for some dramatic rate drop to suddenly change everything, I wouldn't build your whole plan around that. What actually matters more is clarity. Knowing your numbers, knowing your comfort level. And if you ever want to explore that, our in-house mortgage team at Guiding Star through Dominion Lending Centers can usually get you a pre-approval done pretty quickly once all your documents are submitted. What actually sold in 2025? Let's zoom out again. Just under 800 properties sold in Huron County in 2025. About 3/4 of those were detached homes. The rest were a mix of farms, vacant lands, townhomes, and condos. South Huron saw the most activity, which makes sense with the growth around Exeter and people commuting towards London. Huron East, Bluewater, and Goderich were right behind, followed by the rest of the county. October was actually the busiest month for sales, which lines up with something else we saw last year. a huge jump in new listings in late summer. August, in particularly, almost doubled the number of new listings compared to the year before in 2024. And when homes take longer to sell, that naturally is going to push sales into the fall. So that kind of added up together. So what do I think happens next? Honestly, I think prices are going to continue to move around a bit. Some areas may soften more, some are going to hold better. When supply grows and buyers stay cautious, that puts pressure on prices. That is just how the market works. But I don't think interest rates are the only reason people are hesitating. A lot of it is confidence, economic uncertainty, and people being more careful with big decisions. And real recovery doesn't come from one rate cut. It's going to come from stability, realistic pricing, and people making moves because it makes sense for their life. In 2026, I think most buyers and sellers are going to be families upsizing or downsizing because it's the right time for them, not because the market feels perfect. If you're looking for uncertainty in the market, of course you're going to find it. But if you have a long-term plan and realistic expectations, there are still some really good opportunities out there. And that's where having a strategy matters way more than trying to predict the market. So if you're looking for a personalized approach, please reach out. My contact information is in the description below. I have a lot more educational videos sitting on my YouTube channel. Please feel free to scroll through them. If you're looking for anything specific, please don't hesitate. I would love to understand your timeline, your lifestyle, and your goals, and how we can align that with today's market. I will see you guys next month to see how January plays out.